guys, Michio here. Just finished up a seminar with Roy Harris. It was an awesome seminar. The man has a great way of breaking things down and presenting the information, and we had a lot of fun. I have Roy right here. We're going to ask a couple questions, so let's get to it. Hi, Roy.
Hi.
That was an awesome seminar.
Oh, thank you
so
thank
much.
You. Thank you.
I want to ask you a couple questions. One, I know you teach specialized classes for the older grappler. And the first question is, what's the difference between doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when you're younger to when you're getting older?
I think two things. Number one, the focus is on enjoyment. And number two, actually these should be in other order, but I'll say number two, safety. Because I found that with the younger generation, the guys in the 20s, generally they don't have as many responsibilities. They don't have a wife, they don't have kids, they don't have a vehicle, they don't have a career, they don't have a lot of this, and so they're okay with injuries. They're willing to deal with it, they just take it as it's a part of the journey. But as I've discovered over the years, there's a lot of guys who have graduated from college and moved away, and now they're training someplace else. And I've had some guys tell me that, I train at this competition school, and it's great, I love it, but I get injured. And one guy who was doing, he was being put in front of CEOs and CFOs and CIOs. Finally, his director came to him and said, "I'm sorry, I know you love this jiu-jitsu thing, but you got to make a choice. It's either jiu-jitsu or this," because he was getting all these injuries. He was, his face would get scrubbed, he'd get a black eye. So with people who have families and careers and other interests outside, safety number one and fun number two. So I think that's the emphasis, and that's the BJJ over 40 that I teach. That's the major emphasis that I have, and everything that I teach is like, you're at an age now where you should be enjoying this, and you should have fewer injuries.
Okay. And does that go for the competition energy as well? Because sometimes we get in a training environment and we got some younger guys coming after us, like there's no tomorrow, and they want to win, and I know safety's always there, but it's not like a first concern. So in your classes, do you go over how to protect yourself with posture? And
First thing I teach them is how to position themselves properly, and it's a very, very subtle thing. And then from the positioning, then I show them posture, and then from the posture I show them how to escape. And then from the escapes, we go into submission escapes. Meaning, how do you escape straight arm lock? How do you escape? Because usually it's the arm locks, the bent arm lock, straight arm locks, that people get the most injuries from.
You guys cover the foot locks too, the heel hooks and toe holds.
Yes.
So pretty much everything. Is it gi, no gi?
It's both. It's for, I start out no gi, and then I show the gi after. And the reason why is because I found that all of the wrestling stuff with, the 2-on-1 and the arm drag and the underhook and all that applies, gi or no gi. When you start talking about the various grips, unless a person has like a Popeye grip, they can't do those same grips empty-handed or without the gi. And so I prefer to start people no gi first and getting them used to more wrestling hooking than grabbing.
Interesting. Do you encourage the older grappler for competitions? I know a lot of guys might be interested in doing stuff like that, and that's probably where they're going to probably get the most interest. But what do you think about that?
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a very individualistic thing in that the sport is great, but there's a lot of injuries leading up to the competition and sometimes at the competition. And that's just a part of the equation. It's a part of the journey. And if this person, he or she, is at that point in time in life where it really doesn't matter, and their wife doesn't care, and they're the CEO or whatever, good for them.
Wow, awesome. You're one of the pioneers of the American Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, one of the first 12 black belts, American black belts in the United States. Can you tell a little bit more about yourself, of how when you first got started in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu until now, how long you've been doing it and so forth?
I started martial arts in '81, mainly involved in the Jeet Kune Do and the Filipino martial arts. I remember my instructors telling me that, to be a complete fighter, you need to learn how to fight on the ground. And I did a little bit of judo, a little bit of shooto wrestling, but I hated it. I absolutely hated the ground. Then when I was training at the Inosanto Academy, I had a guy who I outweighed by 52 pounds. We got into a little skirmish out in the parking lot on asphalt. He took me to the ground, mounted on top of me, slapped me in the face. I turned over and he choked me.
Wow.
That was my introduction to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu in 1988. And but it took me kind of 3 years to kind of, I don't know, swallow my pride or something for me to finally actually sign up for it. And I started with the Gracie brothers in 1991, January of 1991. That was my journey. And my original goal was to put in 2 to 3 years, learn the basics really well, and that would be good enough. But here I am now, 23 years later, and I'm one of 5 fifth-degree black belts. So us 5 are the highest-ranking American Jiu-Jitsu black belts, and it's been a fun journey. Over those 33 years, I've been involved in 27 different styles, and my reason for being involved in the 27 different styles is because my instructors told me that no one man possesses all knowledge, and no one man possesses everything that you need, nor does he know everything about all the different styles. So you need to learn about the stick, you need to learn about the knife, you need to learn about the kicking, the punching, the throws, the takedowns, and it's not enough to know, you gotta spar. So there's like technique, drills, combination, sparring, back to ground zero. And so I've been kicked in the mouth, I've been elbowed in the face, I've been tossed on my head, I've been submitted with an arm, I've been cut with a knife, I've been hit in the head with a stick, I've had multiple assailant 2-on-1, 3-on-1 drills. I've done environmental training where we've done kickboxing on a stairwell.
Wow.
Think about that. You know how to kickbox on a stairwell? You know how to do jiu-jitsu on a stairwell? Yeah, the environment really changes what a person can or cannot do. So I have a pretty vast experience in martial arts, but jiu-jitsu is one of my loves because it's a fascinating art. It's a lifelong journey. It's very fun. It's a very powerful art, but it's also a very gentle art. Yeah.
Wow, where do you see the Jiu-Jitsu heading in the next 5 years in the United States?
I see it continuing to evolve, just like the Brazilians innovated and came up with all these different guards. Because back in the day, back in the old school days, there were 2 guards, open and closed guard. That's it.
Wow.
Butterfly guard and De La Hiva guard and Tornado guard and Tomato guard and T-Rex guard, all these different guards. They didn't exist back then. And so since that time there's been a lot of innovation. I think that innovation is going to continue, and I think the innovation is going to continue outside of Brazil. I still think there's going to be a lot of innovation in Brazil, but I think now that Jiu-Jitsu has become really popular in the States, really popular in Asia, and really popular in Europe, I see Americans innovating, I see the Japanese innovating, I see the Europeans innovating, and so I think there's going to be a lot of innovation, a lot of new stuff that's going to come.
Exciting, exciting. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was a great seminar, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
All right, cool.
Thanks.
Thank you. Sure.